podcast here with Archie and DB. DB, what's going on?
Big week. Who's your hysteria this week? Big football commit. I'm excited about this football game. First one of the Big Ten season.
Did you say hysteria? Did you call it Who's Your Hysteria?
Yeah, what is it?
It's Who's Your Hysteria, but we'll let you slide. But we'll get into it a little bit here. But a lot on the horizon. Got hotbed of recruiting here as we're headed into October, and I got the Big Ten opener against Penn State, and a lot to talk about there. So we're going to hit on a couple topics today, the recruiting, good luck Okonobo and such. We'll do a little bit about the Penn State game coming up. DB's also got a little bit on the recruiting front for the football team, and cover a little bit about who's your hysteria, as DB calls it, and maybe wrap up with a couple of Twitter questions. But first and foremost, DB, what are you hearing about good luck Okonobo? I hearing out there that could be a possible commit on the horizon this week between it sounds like IU, Ohio State, and UNLV is a dark horse. Is that what you're hearing?
You know, I wrote that article last week. I kind of figured he'd probably wrap it up here pretty quick, doing Ohio State over the weekend and UNLV the front of the week. Just sounds like he wants to wrap it up pretty quick. Of course, I know UNLV football ain't much to go out there and see on an official visit, but I'd say he's going to wrap it up. You know, word was today that it might be a Thursday commit. Don't know for sure. Hadn't seen nothing official, but that is the word that's out. He might be committing somewhere on Thursday.
Well, I think that, the big deal is that you've got Johnson in the fold. Robert Johnson, obviously, that committed a week or so ago. And he's trying to get good luck and Devin Robinson to come on board with him, which Devin Robinson will be the five-star recruit from the East Coast there is going to be visiting for Hoosier Hysteria. So, I mean, talking about a trifecta class, I mean, that's my prediction. I'm thinking it's going to be Johnson, Okonobo, and Robinson. You see it the same way, DB?
Yeah, I'd say I do. I mean, that definitely salvaged the class. I'm kind of disappointed at how Lyle fell through, Blackman fell through. But that definitely salvaged the class if he could pull those three in.
You can't let it go, can you?
No, I mean,
you really.
I tell you, I'll give Tom. I
just really want to harp on that in-state talent.
I'll give Crean credit. I'll give him credit. He did recruit the in-state kids. He made offers to them all. He tried to get them all. Just there's something there where he couldn't seal the deal. Last year I don't want to hear that Gary Harris was going somewhere else. It's in-state school, Indiana, and we didn't get Gary Harris. And then, this year you let the top four kids in-state get out.
Yeah, you can play. I mean, what's it matter? How many kids has Calipari got down at UK from the state of Kentucky?
But that's a difference.
At least it's on scholarship.
It's
not very
four
many.
Of the top 43 basketball players in the country are from Indiana. Zero of the top 200 are from Kentucky. I mean, it's a different argument.
Well, I'd just like to say you're always about that in-state talent. My theory is that's where we differ, but it sounds like we're in agreement on the recruiting. So, what do you think about Dante Exum? I think a lot of Hoosier fans have pipe dreams that he's going to be making the trip to the United States to play for the Hoosiers. I just don't see it. What about you?
Zero chance. I mean, he if he was going anywhere, if he was going to play college, he would have came in December and played somewhere second semester. He would only miss 8-10 ball games. That ain't nothing more than an ankle sprain. Yeah, he's going to the NBA. No questions. No questions. Third pick in the draft. Lock it up. 6'6". He'd probably be a bust. Sean Livingston. That's who I'm calling.
Well, I think, if Crean can land this deal with these three, I think, Hoosier Hysteria is going to be a big selling point to get Devin Robinson on campus and to get him to see what's here. But if you get a class with those three in it, I think that's got to be a top 5, definitely top 10 in the country. And whether the kids are from Indiana or not, obviously with you, that's a big deal. To me, it's about getting the kids commit, and you focus on 15. But I really just want to get it wrapped up and get moving towards the season, which brings me to my next topic. I don't want to talk to you anymore about the in-state kids. I want to get to my next topic. That's Hoosier Hysteria. I mean, how geeked are you for Friday night, 7 o'clock?
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to see the guys out on the court. I wish Fisher and Williams were going to be out there, 2 incoming freshmen. Them being out, that's going to hurt. But, I'm looking forward to the dunking contest. Sheehy, see what he brings out, and Noah Vonleh. I'm wanting to see what they pull out in the dunk contest. So that's what I'm looking forward to most. What do you think about the guy PA in the event?
You talking about Pat McAfee?
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
for those of you who don't know, Pat McAfee, the punter for the Colts, if you're familiar with Indianapolis sports, of course, he's been a much maligned punter there. He's very active on Twitter. His handle is at Pat McAfee Show. He's going to be the MC for the night. I kind of question it. He's a guy. He takes a lot of shots at IU football for their ups and downs. I don't know if I really like it. I think we could do a better job, DB. What about you?
Oh, I guarantee we could. I mean, I've never heard of Pat McAfee. I thought Hunter Smith was still punting for the Colts.
Well, the Colts don't punt very much, as they did the other day against the Jags. But to keep on with the Hoosier hysteria, for those of you who don't know, Friday night, 7:30. Doors will open at 5, but they're going to have at 2 o'clock that day. There's going to be a DJ, concessions, a video board, the whole nine. There are going to be autographs. It's going to be a great night. Hopefully, we'll get 17,456 packed in there for Hoosier hysteria. I think, with Robinson being there, I've been reading and talking to some colleagues, some people in the sports world, in the recruiting scene, and they seem to think that Robinson is looking hard at Notre Dame. And to me, what do you think about that, DB? Could you see Devin Robinson going to Notre Dame over UConn or Indiana?
With them moving to the ACC, I mean, that could be the only thing. I mean, if he's going to do that, why wouldn't he just stay at Virginia or Virginia Tech? I mean, Notre Dame does play teams close to his home, I guess, where I guess closest Indiana would go in conference would be Maryland once they move over. But I don't see it. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would go to Notre Dame over Indiana, but, I don't know why in-state kids don't stay committed to Indiana either.
Well, I mean, I think that's a topic for another time, and we'll probably never know. We got to hope that Kenny Johnson and Tom Crean can seal the deal this weekend. And if we can land an Okanobo and Robinson this weekend, you're talking that leads us right into Saturday afternoon. And I think this really hits right home with you. You're the gridiron guru of the IU Sports Report. So tell us what are you looking for on Saturday when the Nittany Lions, who are 16-0 all time, against the Indiana Hoosiers? What are you looking for on Saturday? High noon start.
They got a freshman quarterback. The fans have to make it hostile, and the defense have to get at him and get after him early. They can't let Penn State establish the run. You got to make Hackenberg beat you through the air. If you can make Hackenberg beat you, you're going to come out of there with a W. Penn State, for you people that are like me, that like the odds, Penn State's only a 3.5-point favorite. I thought that was kind of low coming in, but I mean, Central Florida. If you watch that Central Florida Penn State game, Central Florida beat them on the lines. They made them throw the ball. I think that's what Indiana can do. I think that's what Indiana's got to do. I think they'll come out. 12 o'clock. Fans are going to be rowdy from Hoosier hysteria. Hopefully they don't go home. Hopefully they just stay camping out. Go over to Memorial Saturday morning and have a good time. Watch the Hoosiers win. Go 1-0.
So you mentioned that point spread. You're telling me you didn't take Penn State minus 3.5?
No, I'm probably going to stay away from it. But I'm probably going to stay away from it. I might look at the over/under.
Well, we'll keep your betting history off the record here. Whatever you do in your spare time is on you, but I'd never go against the cream and the crimson. Now, I wanted to get to a question that one of our loyal followers, Jackie Macbeth, he wanted to know, or she for that matter, I'm not sure, I guess it says Jackie Macbeth, but who do we go with for quarterback against Penn State? It's obviously Roberson and Sudfeld are both there. I mean, you got to commit at some point.
At this point,
right?
you might as well throw Cameron Kaufman out there if you're going to keep juggling them back and forth. Yeah, you got to commit to one, and you got to stick with it. I think it's Sudfeld, however you want to pronounce it. I think you go with him. 11 touchdowns. He throws the ball on a rope. He's got receivers to get it to. Yeah,
slingshot.
I think he's the better option. I think instead of running it with the quarterback so much, give it to Tevin Coleman. I mean, he's proven he's averaging over 6.5 yards per carry on the year. I say you got to go with Sudfeld and ride with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sudfeld is your guy. He's I don't understand with Wilson. It's if he sticks with one visor during the game, but he plays two quarterbacks.
He never played two at Oklahoma. He never played two at Oklahoma and never had a runner.
Well, he might have had maybe just a smidge more talent at Oklahoma, but I really think Sudfeld is a pro quarterback eventually, and Roberson's got a lot of athletic ability. I just think that I think you got to pick one. It's Big Ten season. You got to win 4 more games minimum to get to bowl eligibility. I just think you can't be messing around. Having a guy looking over his shoulder. I don't get it. I mean, what are you going to gain from that, DB? Tell him.
I have nothing to say. You can't gain anything from it. I just, I mean, there's nothing you can gain from it. Buy yourself another year is all I can think of.
Well, I just don't want to see the flipping back and forth. I think on Saturday, I look for Sudfeld to come out strong, and I look for the Hoosiers to win. I think I'm looking at 34-27, something along those lines. I think the Hoosiers pull it out. But also another question here from one of the followers, Mighty Mike 127. He said, to us, are the IU football struggles, are they minimal, or should we be concerned? I mean, if IU doesn't beat Penn State on Saturday, are we looking for a new coach? USC just canned Lane Kiffin. I mean, could Wilson be on his way out too?
This month of October is a big month. You got at Michigan State followed here. I mean, you're realistically looking at, if you don't win against Penn State, you're looking at 2-5 before a bye week. I mean, I think it's something you got to take a look at. I mean, is it something to worry about? I mean, I think you go back to the recruiting again. It's like today, you get to commit Corey Keel from Georgia. But, so that mean you're not going to offer Kenny Jones now? Are we pulling his offer? You can't take more than 2 receivers in the class. Kenny Jones from Lawrence Central, he's the same type of receiver. He had bigger offers. Jones actually had Louisville, Iowa State, and Illinois all offer when Keel had South Alabama, Troy, and Western Kentucky. I just think you gotta get with the kids that you see here in your backyard every day. It's like this 2014 class. We have 2 of the top 20 in-state kids committed, but Purdue's got 3 of the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think I will say, I think for Indiana football, for sure, you got to keep the kids in state. I know we've talked to a lot of the kids that they're recruiting, and they seem to be impressed with Wilson. So I guess all we can say is hopefully they can pull it out on Saturday. I think Hoosier Nation will be feeling a lot better. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, DB. I'm going to say next week when we talk, we're going to have at least 1 IU commitment, if not 2. And IU will have beaten Penn State for the first time. I mean, I guess if I was on Twitter, it'd be hashtag bold prediction. But I don't think it's that bold. I think it's reasonable. This is not the Penn State of 1994. And I think IU's got a good shot of landing the 2 kids. So next week when we talk, you remember what I said. We'll have it on the archives. At least 1 commit and an IU football win. And if those don't happen, we might be having a guest host on next week because I don't know if I want to listen to the fans from that. But I think it all starts Thursday. If people talk about if Good Luck Okonobo, if he commits, hopefully it's an IU commit. I don't want to see him in Columbus, Ohio. Friday, Hoosier Hysteria. I think I'm gonna adopt that, Breeze. DB. I think I'm gonna adopt that and make that the Hoosier Hysteria. That's the new term. And then Saturday, high noon, 50,000. Let's pack the house. Memorial Stadium. Hoosiers win 34-27. Check us out, IUsportsReport.com, at IUsportsReport. Follow us on Twitter. Send us your mailbag questions. We'd love to hear from you. This is Archie. That's DB. Tell them bye, buddy.
Back to the Kevin Wilson thing. I think you don't fire him after this year 3. He's got 5 big-time freshmen playing on the defense. The defense is what's loaded down, only 10 seniors. Give him 1 more year. If he ain't produced middle of next year, get him out unless you can get Bobby Petrino now.
And here I am trying to sign off the podcast, and you're still on Wilson. Let's let him play this week. If we're 2-3 next week,
Joe Paul ain't walking through that tunnel for Penn State this week.
I agree. And what is your line you always say about recruiting?
It ain't about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes.
I completely agree. Remember, folks, IUsportsReport.com. A lot of great content out there. Check out Hedges on Sunday. He's got a lot of good things about the recap of the week and what's coming up next week. And check us out at IUsportsReport on Twitter, IUsportsReport.com. Night, everybody.